Palace Entries by Presley Prince Jr. Addoh The Survival Guide. Chapter 2, Delegate. Delegate is about leading with purpose, responsibility, and wisdom. A true leader understands that success is not achieved alone but by empowering others, assigning the right responsibilities, and putting their team in the best position to win. Delegation is not about avoiding work, it is about trusting people, developing their strengths, and creating an environment where everyone can perform at their highest level. The same principle applies within a family. As a protector and provider, a person who delegates leads by example, ensures that every family member is supported, and takes responsibility for creating security, stability, and opportunities for growth. They carry the vision, make difficult decisions when necessary, and work diligently to provide both physical and emotional protection. Through effective leadership, selflessness, and accountability, they help their team and family thrive, building a legacy of strength, unity, and success. Track number 1, Save All the Pleasantries. Save All the Pleasantries is about staying loyal to the people who stood beside you when the vision was still uncertain and the results had not yet arrived. Success has a way of attracting attention from those who once doubted, ignored, or underestimated the work it took to get there. When you and your team are finally winning, some people will suddenly appear with compliments, praise, and support that were nowhere to be found during the struggle. This message is not about bitterness, it is about remembering who believed in the mission from the beginning. The individuals who sacrificed, worked through setbacks, and remained committed when there was no guarantee of success deserve the rewards, opportunities, and trust that come with the victory. Not everyone deserves access to the circle simply because they recognize the value of what has already been built. Save all the pleasantries, because respect that only arrives after success is often convenience disguised as support. Keep building with the people who helped lay the foundation, continue winning with those who earned their place, and let the results speak louder than the praise of those who never believed in the journey. Storyline for Save All the Pleasantries. When the company was still operating out of a cramped room with borrowed equipment and more ambition than resources, only a handful of people believed the vision could become reality. They stayed through the long nights, the rejected proposals, the financial uncertainty, and the moments when quitting would have been the easier option. Years later, when the business became successful and recognition started pouring in, familiar faces who had once dismissed the dream suddenly arrived with warm smiles, congratulations, and offers to be part of the movement. The founder welcomed everyone with professionalism but never forgot who carried the weight of the journey when there was nothing to celebrate. The rewards, leadership opportunities, and closest seats at the table were reserved for those who had earned them through loyalty and sacrifice. The newcomers could admire the success, but they could not rewrite history. Save all the pleasantries, because true support is measured by who stands with you before the victory, not by who applauds after the crowd has already gathered. Track number 2, Mind Games. Mind Games is about recognizing the subtle tests, mixed signals, and emotional tactics that can sometimes appear during the early stages of attraction. When someone is interested in you, they may not always communicate their intentions directly. Instead, they might alternate between attention and distance, create uncertainty, or look for ways to gauge your confidence, patience, and level of interest. The message is not to become cynical or assume bad intentions, but to remain aware and emotionally grounded while getting to know someone. Pay attention to actions more than words, maintain your own standards, and avoid being pulled into unnecessary confusion or competition for validation. Genuine interest becomes clearer over time through consistency, honesty, and mutual effort. Mind Games is a reminder to stay observant, keep your self-respect intact, and make decisions based on what someone consistently does rather than how they temporarily make you feel. Storyline for Mind Games. Marcus noticed something was different every time he spoke to Jasmine. One week she was calling, texting, and finding reasons to be around him, and the next week she seemed distant and hard to reach. At first, he spent hours wondering what he had done wrong, replaying conversations in his head and trying to figure out where he stood. But as time passed, he realized he was getting pulled into a game of uncertainty. Whenever he stopped chasing, Jasmine would suddenly reappear with more attention and interest than before. Instead of reacting emotionally, Marcus stayed focused on his work, his goals, and his own life. He enjoyed her company but refused to let mixed signals control his peace of mind. Eventually, he learned an important lesson: when someone is interested, their actions will consistently show it. Mind games only have power when you abandon your own direction to follow them. By remaining confident and patient, Marcus was able to see the situation clearly and make decisions based on reality rather than confusion. Track number 3, I stick to the program. I stick to the program is about maintaining discipline and commitment to your goals regardless of the distractions, opinions, and circumstances happening around you. Every worthwhile plan will face interruptions, unexpected setbacks, criticism, trends, drama, and external pressures that tempt you to abandon your path. The people who achieve lasting success are often the ones who refuse to let outside noise dictate their direction. They understand that progress comes from consistency, not constant reaction. While others get distracted by what is popular, what is controversial, or what everyone else is doing, they remain focused on the process that is moving them closer to their destination. I stick to the program as a reminder to trust the vision, follow the strategy, and keep showing up every day, knowing that staying committed to the plan is often what separates those who finish from those who quit. Storyline for I stick to the program. When Jordan decided to start his own business, he created a clear plan and committed himself to following it every day. As the months went by, the world around him seemed determined to pull him in every direction. Friends told him to try the latest trends, social media was filled with people claiming there were easier ways to succeed, and every setback tempted him to abandon his strategy for something new. Some days the economy looked uncertain, other days competitors appeared to be moving ahead faster than he was. But instead of reacting to every headline, opinion, or distraction, Jordan returned to his plan each morning and focused on the next step. While others constantly changed direction, he kept building, improving, and executing. Years later, when his business finally reached the success he had envisioned, people called him disciplined and focused. What they did not see was that his greatest advantage was simple. No matter what was happening in the outside world, he stuck to the program and trusted the process long enough to see the results. Track number 4, She Is Mine. She Is Mine is about the regret that can come from realizing the value of someone only after the opportunity to be with them has passed. It's the story of watching a woman you once had a genuine chance with build a life with someone else and understanding that the window to make things right has closed. Sometimes pride, poor timing, lack of effort, indecision, or taking a person for granted can create distance that seems temporary in the moment but becomes permanent over time. Seeing her happy with another man forces a difficult reflection on the choices that were made and the chances that were missed. The title captures the painful contradiction of knowing that, in your heart, you once imagined a future together, yet that future now belongs to someone else. Rather than dwelling in bitterness or jealousy, the message is about accepting responsibility, learning from the experience, and recognizing that opportunities, like people, do not always wait forever. Storyline for She Is Mine. Years after they first met, David still remembered the ease of his conversations with Sarah and the way she had quietly made space for him in her life. She had been patient, supportive, and willing to build something meaningful, but David always assumed there would be more time. He let misunderstandings go unresolved, postponed important conversations, and never fully committed when she needed clarity. Eventually, Sarah stopped waiting. Life moved on, and so did she. One afternoon, David saw a photo of her smiling beside another man, wearing the same genuine happiness he had once taken for granted. In that moment, the reality hit him harder than he expected. The future he had imagined was no longer his to pursue. It belonged to someone who had shown up, made the effort, and valued what was in front of him. As he looked at the picture, David understood that some losses are not caused by a single mistake but by a series of missed opportunities. She Is Mine was the thought he once carried in his heart, but the lesson he learned was that love cannot be claimed by possibility alone. It must be nurtured, protected, and chosen before the chance is gone. Track number 5, The Devil's Whisper. The Devil's Whisper is a powerful reminder that every believer faces competing voices. The enemy whispers fear, doubt, condemnation, and lies, hoping to distract us from God's purpose and promises. But while one ear hears the whispers of the enemy, the other must remain tuned to the voice of God, His truth, His love, and His guidance. This song speaks about the daily choice to reject the lies that seek to pull us away from faith and instead listen to the one who calls us chosen, forgiven, and victorious. When God's voice becomes louder than the devil's whisper, fear loses its power, faith rises, and we walk confidently in the destiny He has prepared for us. Storyline for The Devil's Whisper. Late one night, a young believer sat alone, overwhelmed by fear and uncertainty. In the silence, the devil's whisper crept into his mind, telling him he wasn't good enough, that God had forgotten him, and that his future was hopeless. The lies grew louder with every passing moment, until he opened his Bible and began to pray. As he listened, another voice spoke, not with fear, but with peace. God reminded him that he was loved, chosen, forgiven, and never alone. The battle wasn't happening around him, it was happening within him, between the whispers of the enemy and the promises of God. With every scripture he read and every prayer he prayed, God's voice became clearer while the enemy's lies faded into the background. By morning, he realized that victory came not from arguing with the devil's whisper, but from tuning his heart to the voice of God and trusting what he said above everything else. Track number 6, She Likes It. She likes it when we talk now because time has changed both of us. Back then, she didn't see me the way I saw her. We were younger, focused on different things, and not ready for what could have been between us. But life has a way of teaching lessons, and with maturity came a new understanding. Now when we reconnect, there's a comfort and appreciation that wasn't there before. We both know who we are, what we want, and what truly matters. The connection feels different, not rushed or based on fantasy, but built on respect, growth, and genuine interest. The woman who once didn't want me now sees me through a different lens, and maybe that's because we both become the people we were meant to be. Storyline for She Likes It. Years ago, she walked past me like I was just another face in a crowded season of her life. I watched her chase dreams that didn't include me, while I carried my own hopes quietly into the future. Time drifted on like a river, pulling us in different directions. We stumbled through heartbreaks, victories, mistakes, and lessons that only life could teach. Then one autumn evening, fate crossed our paths again. The girl who once looked through me now looked into me, seeing the man I had become. Her smile held a warmth that wasn't there before, and her eyes reflected the same growth I felt within myself. We laughed about the years between us, realizing that we hadn't missed our chance, we had simply met too soon. What once seemed like rejection had really been timing, and now, with maturity replacing uncertainty, we found something deeper than attraction, two people finally ready for the story that couldn't have been written any earlier. Track number 7, Logo is the Name. Logo is the Name is about creating a clear identity that people can recognize, trust, and rally behind. Just as a logo represents everything a brand stands for, your name, character, and actions become a symbol of your values, vision, and purpose. People are more likely to follow someone who is consistent, authentic, and unmistakable in what they represent. Confusion weakens influence, but clarity attracts belief and loyalty. Whether you are leading a business, a movement, a team, or your own personal journey, your reputation becomes your signature. Every decision, achievement, and interaction contributes to what your name means in the minds of others. Logo is the Name as a reminder to stand for something meaningful, communicate your vision clearly, and build a reputation so strong that when people see the logo, hear the name, or witness the work, they immediately understand what you represent and why they should believe in the mission. Storyline for Logo is the Name. When Elijah launched his organization, he spent months designing the perfect logo, adjusting colors, shapes, and fonts until everything looked exactly right. He believed the logo would be the key to attracting people to the vision. But as the years passed, he discovered that the symbol itself was only a reflection of something greater. What truly mattered was the reputation attached to it. Every promise he kept, every challenge he faced with integrity, and every person he helped strengthened the meaning behind the logo. Eventually, people no longer followed because of the design on the website or the emblem on the merchandise. They followed because they trusted what Elijah's name represented. The logo became recognizable not because it was visually impressive, but because it stood for consistency, leadership, and purpose. Wherever people saw it, they knew exactly what it meant and what values were behind it. Elijah learned that a logo can catch attention, but a name built on character is what inspires people to believe, follow, and remain loyal to the mission. Track number 8, Fall in Love. Fall in Love is about choosing depth over repetition and purpose over temporary experiences. In a culture that often celebrates dating as many people as possible, the song challenges the idea that every relationship is just another chapter to be discarded when the excitement fades. Every serious connection leaves an impact. Sharing your time, emotions, trust, and heart with someone means that a part of you remains with them long after the relationship ends. Instead of moving from one relationship to the next simply because it is expected, fall in love encourages patience, intentionality, and protecting your heart for someone truly worth building a future with. The message is not that relationships are bad, but that love is too valuable to be treated like a game or a pastime. Rather than giving pieces of yourself away to countless temporary connections, save your deepest commitment, loyalty, and affection for the woman you believe can become your lifelong partner. Real love is not about collecting experiences, it is about finding the right person and giving them the best version of yourself. Storyline for Fall in Love. While many of his friends spent their 20s moving from one relationship to the next, Caleb never felt comfortable treating love like a sport. He watched people celebrate short-term romances as if collecting experiences was the goal, only to end up carrying disappointment, heartbreak, and emotional baggage into the next relationship. Whenever he met someone he genuinely liked, he took the connection seriously because he believed every relationship left a mark on the people involved. There were times when he felt pressure to date casually just because everyone around him was doing it, but he couldn't ignore the feeling that constantly giving pieces of his heart away would make it harder to give his whole heart to the right woman when she finally came along. So instead of chasing every opportunity, Caleb focused on becoming the man he wanted to be and waited for a relationship with real purpose. Years later, when he met the woman he envisioned building a life with, he was grateful he had not spent years treating love as a temporary game. He was able to give her his full commitment, his best effort, and a heart that had been guarded for something lasting. In a world that encouraged endless dating, Caleb learned that sometimes the greatest act of love is knowing when to wait for the one worth giving everything to.